what I used to do is ask where my skeptic was, and they would get this device so I can hear their commentary all night. And then I realized what a jerk I was to these people, so I stopped asking. So let's do a quick demo. You guys can all see me in that camera, correct? I should be orange, red, and yellow. Everything around me should be blue and black. Okay, the reason for that is blue and black are the coldest areas in this camera. Those things, if they start moving on their own, we might actually have some activity going on. The cool thing about this is it's always recording. We don't always capture something with this, but when we do, it's not going to be, oh, I saw a shadow, hurry up, get the camera. We're going to miss it. We want to have it running at all times. So, Nick, I think I'm going to go with you on this one, buddy.
All right.
So, you're going to hold this out just like this. The camera's going to be on your left-hand side, right where your finger just covered.
Oh, yep.
Yep, you got it.
Got it.
So we just added a new case to that because it was very slippery before. So you're my first tester on this guy.
Okay.
Do you see the red square on there on your left-hand side of your screen?
Yes.
It means it's recording. Pay no attention to the timer. If the orange square turns to a circle, it stopped recording.
Okay.
Tap it again.
Okay.
I just have to splice some video together. Please let me know. Some people give it back to me and say, yeah, one video, Nick. And then all of a sudden I got 12.
Yeah.
And it takes me forever to splice it together in order.
Oh.
So do your best. You're going to hold it horizontal because what happens is I send it to YouTube because I don't like all the storage on my website. Then I send it back to my website. Make sense?
Got it.
Perfect. All right. Let's talk about spirit boxes.
No pressure. That's me. I'm hot. Oh, spirit boxes.
We're going to be using 3 different types of spirit boxes. Every group here is going to have a separate type of spirit box. The first one we use, this is my favorite device so far. So the new one. So Jim says this is your best device, sorry. So what does this guy do? It's going to sweep through all of the FM radio stations at a very quick rate. It's just like your white static you guys hear on the TV shows and your YouTube videos, only mine is slowed down. Why is it slowed down? I want the radio chatter to come through. Some people come up to me and say, all I hear is the radio. Good, tell me what they're saying. It's a 50-50 shot that I can relate it to the location of where we are, something going on with one of us, or a person I'm talking about in history based on the location. So again, 50-50 shot. So some of that stuff, you're going to hear Charleston, you're going to hear Diamonds Direct. That's a normal commercial for us. That's a jeweler down here. I ignore that stuff. But the other stuff, you might get a specific number. And we're going to go through questioning as we kind of go through this. The nice thing about this guy, you guys get a full recording of this sweep tomorrow morning, along with the video on that and the audio that we have so far. You guys following me on how much data you're going to get back? This guy will record even on mute, and it will not record outside noise. So, with that said, it's recording right now. That's when it started, and that's my cue, so I can almost line it up to see what the questions were. If I get something weird, I'm like, oh, what was the question? So, Natalie, was it? Ah, look at me, I'm horrible with names, guys. So,
I'm impressed.
so far, you're going to control the volume. That's the only button you need to worry about. So whenever you hear something, you're going to let us know what you hear. So there's a wheel right here at the top. You see how I'm turning that? You're going to have a button. Don't hit the button. It's black. I'm sorry. You're going to have to feel for it. So kind of go ahead and
I probably look
find
hotter
where the
in
wheel
Caroline
is.
because I was running here.
So just don't
Every
forget
day
about
a
that.
hot soup.
Fair enough? All right. Next spirit box. This one does the exact same thing that Natalie's does, only it doesn't record. So I give this to 2 people because I need them to verify what they're hearing. Whoa, that thing is moving fast. Can you give me some light? No, never mind. Alright. So again, this one has a little ball speaker attached to it. It is Velcroed. Vincent, I'm sorry, I lost your name.
First?
Yes.
Season.
Autumn. Got it. So you guys are going to listen together. So you guys are a pair.
Hey,
You have one button to worry about as well. It's
I'm gonna
on
ruin
side
the
of ball
recording.
speaker, so you just hold it up gently. Get
So
some
do you
volume.
watch that? You knew that
It's a
for
little touchy. So you got to kind of, and then you obviously turn it down.
Buttons named Ryan and
Volume button in there. So as I'm talking,
Wait, what? So I heard Aaron and I thought you might have meant Elton from TFIO. They're really good too. So you said Adam.
Yeah, I don't know why I was either mind for Aaron.
last but not least, yes, this one is an app. Let me kind of go through it, what it actually does. It's going to give us a word from time to time in the center of the screen.
How can I?
Oh, you're sharing. So here's what I'm going to tell you too about all of the devices. As long as you keep them within your group, feel free to intermix. Is that fair? Everything's been sanitized, so we're going to keep it that way. So the cool thing about this list, or the words that come up, it saves them to a list. My last group had 72 words. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. 80% of what comes out of this is BS. None of it means anything. It's meant to be a game and a hoax. Just like the 50-50 on the other spirit boxes of what I'm getting out of that. The 80% out of here, a lot of times I'll say that's part of the 80%. The 20%, I'm going to give you the reason why it's relevant to the location, and I'm also going to give you a backlink that's going to tell you where I got my information from. Okay? I'm not going to lie to you guys about anything. I'm not going to say, oh, because your tour guide said she got married at this age. No. Eliza's going to tell you how old she was when she got married through one of the spirit boxes. So, Kelly, you seem like you're very excited.
I am very excited.
So, you have 2 buttons to worry about.
Okay.
If I say where we at with the list, you hit the little calendar to the right.
Okay.
It will give you all of the words. Don't hit clear or export. You just want to circle back.
Okay.
That's it. Circle back, calendar.
So calendar, circle back.
You got it.
Roger.
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 Is it a phone or is it just like
Yeah. But it's got like a camera attached to it. It's not like just like a phone camera that's doing that.
I'm trying to think how I'm going to get this going.
I think. Yeah, I
It
think
says
it's
achieve.
Just be a
achieve greatness.
That's part of the 80%.
All right. Mark,
Yeah. That's
you're going to have some fun.
Okay. I'm ready.
So this is the neuralizer for Men in Black. I'm a movie buff. You guys are going to find that out real fast. These are green lasers. Kids never get these because lasers get Nick in trouble. Why? Because
they blind people.
In Charleston. So lasers stay on the ground at all times.
Yep.
My lasers are
Did you
also
say
strong
my dad?
enough to set off car alarms, so we keep them off of vehicles.
Whoa.
So, the cool thing about lasers is
That's a lot of pressure.
You're gonna have
I got it
pressure.
though. I got it.
It's only because you're late. So the reason why we use lasers is we can't see the lasers from the pen to the ground until something passes through it. How cool is that? Okay. Now this one has a little button on the pen, so you're gonna have to hold it to keep it on. That's controlled by you. So
Okay.
hang on to that.
Okay.
I still need you to focus.
Okay, I'm focusing.
First one,
It's like a cat.
red squares.
Yep.
So what's the difference between the red dots, or the green dots, and the red squares? If I capture something here, and Carolyn takes a picture right here, I can put that in 3D software and give you guys a full 3D view of what we caught with measurements.
Wow. Because of the grid.
Because of the grid.
Yeah.
Lasers both go to you.
Okay. I'm in.
That one has a toggle switch, so you have to be careful, because sometimes people are like moving it around and don't realize it's still on. So
Got it.
Again,
Okay.
you don't
Yep.
blind cars.
Got that.
And don't cross the
So
streets.
obviously,
Okay.
you're going to be teamed up with
Don't
them.
cross the streams.
Ghostbusters.
got it.
It was actually mine.
Are you so proud right now?
I am. You have no idea.
So
My
it's
heart-
okay to cross the streams technically.
What's that?
It's okay to cross the streams technically.
Technically, you're going to get it better if you
Okay.
keep them apart.
All right.
But like you won't die.
No, I get. Okay. All right.
No explosions.
All right.
Total
particle reversal.
Yeah.
Right? What happened here?
The ghosts have drained the batteries already.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to be taking pictures. Go ahead and shine one of your lasers down for me. You're going to shine through the lasers because I'm trying to capture something here.
Right.
I know what the grid looks like. I know what the dots look like. You want to go through it. You want to stand between 2 to 5 feet away and take pictures. Fair enough?
So wait, what do you mean by through it? Like
Go through the grid. Like you want to take the picture this way,
This
not
way?
down.
Oh, not
Not
up to down.
This way.
Correct.
Okay. But not like right close.
You got it.
Okay.
Right.
And we're going to work with you guys on all of these devices. All right, so this whole team is taken care of, correct?
Yep.
All right.
Maybe we'll find a ghost.
You guys need
pad.
to know when to stop and ask questions. So, EMF meters
Hey,
are
Caroline.
essential. Pleasure.
Put our dumb glasses on.
So, EMF meters measure 3 different types of electromagnetic fields. The first one's natural, that's why it's green. So, Darlene, this one's going to go to you. So, the next one is going to be giving us things from electronic devices. If my cell phone, it's going to give off pulses.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want pulses either where it's a rhythm and I can count it out, almost like a song. I want this thing to go erratic. I want it to go nuts. So, when this thing goes nuts, that's where you guys need to stop and start asking questions. Christy, you're next. Now, you guys also have a spirit box, so you also kind of need to know where to stop and where to begin.
All right.
Things. You're going to be my multitasker.
No, he said he didn't.
This is a millimeter, everybody. So what a millimeter does, the first thing it has is it has the EMF already built into it. That's your big numbers. Anything above 2.5, I'm going to be excited about. It also has ambient temperature. So in case Nick finds something on his, then we're going to be able to find where that cold spot's coming from. It measures it through the yellow probe. The last thing it has is a motion detector called a REM pod. So the REM pod, the way this guy works is if something gets close to the antenna, it's going to go off. If it gets closer to it, it's going to go higher. Does that make sense? So we don't always use that because it's really annoying on audio. So I will show you more about the REM pod. Just keep this little flap in the back open. Focus on the numbers on your screen for now. Flap in the back.
Nighttime.
That's relevant.
I don't think so.
Now,
It
are
is,
you
'cause
guys
it
ready
is
for this
nighttime.
crazy new device?
Nighttime.
Because we are, this is our test market here.
Super duper device.
So
Pretty much.
he never uses this device.
You get the
with
ghost
group,
box.
So he's
Ghost trap.
The one right now?
Yep.
He's pulling out?
Yep.
We have Q, nighttime,
Ghost
all
traps.
right, and a cheat.
We are
Oh,
going to be
SOS.
working with full spectrum lighting.
Just kidding.
So,
SMS?
I said SOS. That's like the stick
if you
figure
guys
thing.
can notice, I'm going to do a quick demonstration just so you guys can kind of get a gist of what that camera looks like without the lights on. I know it's kind of weird to see, but it's basic. It's like a GoPro, okay? So I'm going to turn the full spectrum lighting on and show you guys the difference. And notice you can't see that light on me.
No, they didn't even do anything.
Not in the visible spectrum.
Not in the visible
Whoa.
spectrum.
Whoa.
So, unfortunately, there's no way for me to put a power pack on this guy to keep it charged. We get about an hour of video. So I'm going to tell you when we're going to start recording, and we're going to work, you and I, hand in hand, one-on-one with this guy. So, obviously this is the handle. This guy will fluctuate a little bit, so you have a little bit of leeway. Just don't try to turn it this way. I have it so if you're right-handed, you can kind of use all the operations. This guy is the top switch only. The other one is night vision. Okay. We don't want to use night vision.
Wrench.
We want full spectrum. Okay. This is another full spectrum.
I'm not part of the 80%.
It was Professor Plum with the wrench
So I want you to play with all of this and find where the best
in
piece of
Charleston. I
that-
So far we have wrench, Q,
And
nighttime,
then to
all
record, we
right.
just press this button over here.
Yeah, we're gonna tap that button and get it going, and then kind of see. Well, the problem that I find with this guy so far is if it runs out of battery, we lose the video. Oh, so it's really important for you to watch the battery. Again, you and I are gonna be the best pals. Okay. Because I'm gonna be watching this thing constantly. So this is a left-handed device. So if you put it in your left hand, this way you can operate all the other buttons with your right.
Okay.
All right. So here, let's go over real quick again what you guys are getting back.
Yep.
We're gonna get pictures. Hopefully, Carolyn's gonna take hundreds.
Of the red only?
Of
Red
everything.
and green.
And green, okay.
And I may even point out some. You guys are all visitors here. None of you live here, so I may even say, "Hey, that's a great touristy picture." So by all means, do so. So we're gonna get the recording from the spirit box, my audio, Nick's thermal imaging. We're gonna have about an hour, hopefully, fingers crossed, of the full spectrum video. Let's see what else are we gonna get. I think that about covers all the recordings, and then you're gonna get an analysis of the things that I find. Now, I'm gonna go through this stuff with the extra added video for about 2.5 hours. You're recording about 11 hours worth of data tonight. I don't cover it all. That's what you paid me for. Half the fun of ghost hunting is learning about the history of the locations of where you are. So, let's talk about where we're standing. Okay, I gave you the address of 251 East Bay Street for a reason. This place used to be called. Wow, my bag's so much later. Thank you. So this place used to be called Big John's. Big John Kennedy was a football player for the 1947 New York Giants. Okay, whenever I'm telling you the history of a place, I will emphasize keywords because there's spirit boxes in every group. You guys are gonna make me talk tonight. We're gonna go through some water. So, with that said, John used to sit in the back of the bar, and he would tell the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel, which is about a mile from here, if they were old enough to drink. So, one night, two guys come in, not old enough. John tells the bartender, get him out of here. So they leave, pretty pissed off. Sorry for that. So, here we go. So they come back, and they try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar the next night. Yeah, John sees what's going on. They obviously get into a little bar brawl. John is pounding on these guys. A couple of shots go off. John gets hit in the neck, and the bullet ricochets and goes into the wall. He gets up, he goes back to the bartender, he says, get me another beer, and go get them guys an ambulance. First off, nobody died in that story. Second, John's the one that got shot, and the other two guys were on the ground. So, what's haunting the place? The bullet hole is allegedly still here, with John's blood on it. I say allegedly because they are renovating the place right now, so I'll have to go back in and check. People that sit in the front of the bar get a little queasy, nauseous, headache. I bring this up on purpose because I don't know how paranormal activity is going to affect anybody. If anybody feels any of those things, I need to know immediately. It's a big deal. Now, I do have things in my bag that are keeping us, all the paranormal activity around me, which means it's active, but it's not harmful. If that makes sense. So again, I haven't had a problem since I added those things into my bag. I had a much different bag before. So, again.
Near.
Oh, look at that. Might be part of the 80%.
Well, I have a question.
Don't tell me
If
that.
there's like people in the background, do you want me to like call it out in the video for the recording?
So we're going to talk about more about your video too in that first location. So,
Okay.
me and
Well,
I'm
yeah,
going to focus
but I
on the
don't know.
cameras, you and Jim, and then London's going to bounce around with everybody else.
Discussion.
Oh, look at that. We're chatting.
Pulling up a lot of 80%, dude.
Sorry.
Actually, the discussion would, like I said, could be relevant to us.
Yeah,
We are having a discussion.
that's
right
what-
now. If it brings up Nick, then it obviously recognizes that two Nicks are having a discussion. So, let's talk about something other than our own health, because Christy's getting bored. So, see, you got somebody's attention, got her chuckling. So, I'm definitely not a normal tour guide. So, this place, you guys, if you didn't know, we had a big earthquake here in 1886. It's a big earthquake for us because we're in Charleston, East Coast. We don't get earthquakes here. So, this allegedly is where the first death occurred from that earthquake. The mantle you see in the center of the building also wraps around the front of the building. A piece of it broke off, struck somebody in the back of the head, and killed him. Apparently, you could see his ghost on East Bay Street in the middle of the night, probably during witch hour right here. Now, do I have any proof of this? I don't. It's just a great segue story, so you guys aren't thinking about getting sick on my tour. So, are you guys ready to go ghost hunting?
Yeah.
I know Jim's like stoked. So, we're gonna actually go this way.
Camera, and we're ready to rock. Let's take a picture.
That's okay. You can talk about everything. You go up there with me. I got this.
I think you gave the person with the most shaky hands the thermal imaging camera.
All right.
Devastating.
The earthquake was devastating.
All right, everybody. This is your level 1. Your entire time with me is kind of like a ghost hunting lesson based on your device. So level 1 is going to be super easy. This is where you get to learn more tactics about all of your devices that you're holding. This is a short 1 to 2 line story. This is the big red barn where we keep the horses for your carriage rides. You guys can probably smell them. I'm immune to them because I'm out here 6 nights a week with 10 people. So this is the same red barn that had horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. What are your key words here? Over there was 1947 New York Giants, right? And Big John. Over here, it's delivery on cue. Good job, air conditioner. Your keywords here, guys, are delivery, milk, and eggs. Okay. Anything coming through on your radio and your spirit boxes that says Charleston, I'm obviously going to ignore it because you're listening to Charleston radio stations. So, spirit boxes. Let's talk about those for a second. This method that you're going to be using tonight is pretty simple. This is not TV. Most of the stuff you see on TV is fake. I love all the red lights coming from him. I love it. So I'm geeking out right now. You guys have no idea. I couldn't wait to put that thing together. So, this is not TV. Your spirit boxes, this is not... Is somebody here? Because if somebody says no, guess what? Somebody's here. They answered you. So we're going to stay away from yes or no questions all night long. We want specifics. We want the details. We're going to start off something simple, of something you know the answer to. We can all agree that the barn is red, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, if somebody's here, tell me what color the barn is, and then you're going to listen, obviously, for the color red. If they can't give you the color red, your spirit boxes that make noise, the 2 of them that we do have, this is like Bumblebee from Transformers. It's going to look for a word that is specifically red. Fire truck, blood, heart. Same thing with yours, Kelly. It's going to be the same thing. So, you might get those, hey, what color is the barn? And it says blood. Blood is specifically red. Blood can't be any other color, right? So that's really what we're looking for. It's about putting those clues together. So, spirit boxes, again, if you don't get an answer, let's kind of go on that route. And you're like, this is kind of hokey. Open it up a little bit. What's inside the barn? Making sure you're still recording. So what's inside the barn? Now we know we have animals. They're horses. They're draft horses. That's their breed. We've gotten draft here before. anything related to horses or ponies, delivery, milk, eggs, protein, calcium, any of those terms will work. There's a lot more than just the color red. You guys kind of get the gist of how this is going to work tonight. So all of you have a spirit box within your group. I do that on purpose because everybody likes to huddle around the spirit boxes. So spirit boxes, we are going to stay within the confines of this lot. Remember, lasers are kind of dangerous. So mark no lasers inside those windows up there. You will spook the ponies.
Yep.
And remember, they set off car alarms.
Yep.
Those of you with cameras, there's 3 of you. People hate their cars being filmed or have their pictures taken on their vehicle. They think we're doing something wrong. They don't know that none of your cameras are going to be able to see their license plate. So if somebody's walking by, going to their vehicle, you're just casually holding your device. Sorry, there's no way you're going to casually hold that thing.
Not doing it.
This is a
Right.
It's way too dark for this to pick up anything anyway, right?
That's what they're going to think. So all them red lights don't mean anything because they can't see the visual spectrum. But anyway, have some fun in here. I'm going to focus on Nick and Jim for a little while and get you guys kind of situated with your cameras and get them going. Lasers, take some pictures in here. Let's see what we can get. Remember, you can still get answers from Big John. I get teammates here all the time. If you say somebody's here, tell me your jersey number. If I get a number and I can match it up with a name from another spirit box, boom, we have evidence. I don't get excited about one piece.
You already got a name.
What do you got?
Charles.
Is it
When you
Charleston?
said who's here, before you said if someone's here, tell me the barn is red.
So
You said who's here, and it said Charles.
let me tell you about Charles. So Charles, we are 1 block away from our next stop, and Charles is a big name over there. So I'm going to take that already as evidence for our next stop, because that next stop is crazy. So this is a practice area. So I want to see what else comes out of yours, but I'm going to follow up in a few minutes and let it kind of rotate. Again, Charles is not part of the 80%. We are definitely within the 20. So, all right, everybody else kind of scatter. Let's see what we get on those spirit boxes. We're going to spend about 5 minutes here. London, this spirit box first.
Can I, like,
Let's go
as long
into
as
the
it's not
light
a car,
first, so
can
that
I
you can,
shine
like,
it
see where
toward the
it's at?
corner of the building?
You're gonna come with
As long
me?
as it's not opposite
Okay.
a car, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, you got it. Yep, we got it. Okay.
All right, Nick. All right, so we want to keep a person in view at all times.
Okay.
Why is that? Let's
So
go over to this wood panel over here. I need something pretty polite. So go ahead and just point your camera right there, and it should bleed out to all one color, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so watch what happens to the wall when I get in the picture.
Okay.
Reason why we do that is because my skin temp is going to be the warmest thing out here. Anybody's skin temperature. We're going to be 97 to 99 degrees. If somebody's higher than that, we got to call the COVID police. So with that said, we want that array of color. I want to be able to see things moving around. When I skim through that video, I literally go on YouTube and I move the bar, and it takes me about 15 minutes to get through the whole video. I'm looking for things that are going like this, or going through somebody, or somebody's missing a body part, along those kind of lines. Again, I only spend 15 minutes on it. It's up to you guys to find the rest and get back to me.
Okay.
So you have a large group here. Keep anybody in view. I don't care if they're in a distance, up close, it's not somebody's face. It doesn't matter. Just keep somebody's skin in view so I can camera charging.
Okay.
Because the camera's only supposed to last for an hour, kind of like his.
Okay.
There's no way for me to attach a battery pack to that guy. This one's Velcroed on the back. Not to mention, the phone itself, just so you're not super worried. Here's a camera. So the phone itself is an active camera. What does that, or an active phone? What does that mean? It's meant for construction workers, and I added extra protection onto it.
Okay.
So you're perfectly fine.
Okay,
Don't worry
got
about
it.
it. That's why I kind of chuckled, like no big deal.
Okay.
So have some fun with it. Learn how it works. You have asphalt, wood, brick, all kinds of things in here. Just see how the temperatures fluctuate.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks so much.
No problem, man. All right, so for you, I literally want you to kind of plan with different lights. I want you to see what's brightest, what's going to work best. Is that white dot annoying? I want you to give me options that.
Hey, we got a 1.2.
Did you see that?
No.
I dropped it.
You know what I mean? Like, how was it?
He said it's like really protective. But...
Stop. I'm
What?
trying to get.
He said I have to keep someone in the video at all times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's like otherwise the color all bleeds out. Like there needs to be like a frame of reference,
Oh,
kind of.
Roger that.
Yeah.
Okay.
How's your machine going?
Pretty cool. Look at what I got.
Any other cool words?
No, it's been our favorite forever, and I keep like asking other questions. Am I supposed to ask questions?
Yeah, you gotta ask questions.
So I'm thinking maybe he's got a favorite horse, or she has a favorite horse. Or maybe you say the horse's chills. And now I have chills. Oh, which milk and oh yeah, it's Charles is the male English. Yeah.
Okay.
But maybe that's why Charles not here. Ah, I see. I got chills now.
Chills?
Look at chills.
Did you feel chills after
No,
seeing
I
that?
didn't.
Yeah, but you just disrupted the video. This is the only thing that I outsource. So my website's going to have all of their stuff all together, and then there's going to be a link to the Stories in a Cemetery Facebook page. You guys are going to have your separate folder. It'll have the date and everybody's first name before the book. You guys will see that with everything I do. So your name will be on there, and I'll try to go with that.
Big John.
Big John. You got the Charles early on the square box, right?
Yeah.
So my name is Caroline. That's the feminine of Charles. So maybe that has. Okay.
That's in
Right. Okay. You're right.
So let
And
me
it's
see where she's at with hers. All right, now what do you got going?
Now I kind of know.
I got so much.
Flowers is also relevant. Yeah, we're gonna chat once we get over there. All right, let's go learn some real history, guys. We're gonna go this way.
He said flowers.
Darlene.
One. Now it's cut those.
Very animated.
How's the thermal going?
Dude, I dropped the camera.
You did?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Did you see it happen?
Yeah, he was standing like 2 feet in front of me. Some clumsy. I like reached up to itch myself and I like. He said it was fine, like it's a really protective face, like construction.
Yeah.
Use like that kind of job, but like I was itching my face and I brought it down and I hit the wire right there because I wasn't thinking about how long it really is.
How's the book? I feel like Charles is here.
Yeah, me too. Oh no. Yeah.
That's where we were going to eat.
All right. So the folks that I did not get a chance to follow up with, have we heard anything on the spirit boxes yet? What do we get?
No.
Come on.
You don't want to hear the story?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So we were over there talking about the red barn. And we were saying, like, what color is the barn? And he was like, it's red. And so, no, we're trying to talk to Charles. And then
We all do it. It's
and I
fine.
said, Charles, did you happen to hear that paranormal activity? And on here it said, we don't get that happening around here too often. Swear to God.
Well,
Did it not?
The fact that he ripped one and he's powered by pizza, I think kind of makes up for that. So,
Explains the reason why.
love it.
That was Big John, right?
Big John.
He ripped the Big John.
It was awesome.
I don't think I've ever seen that word on there, but it's interesting. Did you guys hear anything on your spirit box while we were over there? Okay. All right, let's turn our spirit boxes down because this place is a big hotspot for me. Yes, it's another parking lot. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I got 5.1. Oh, it's 0 now.
Nice. That's good. That's what we want. We want the spikes and go back down to 0. All right, so first and foremost, safety hazards. This is the only way in and out for vehicles. So we want to kind of move in a little bit closer because people will fly in here trying to find a parking spot. Second thing is, this is loaded with vehicles. So all you camera people, same hazards that I told you about before, and lasers. All right, so where the heck are we? This is home to Charles and Eliza Pinkerton. Their mansion sat in the front of this lot facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden, flowers, started with that left tree over there and came all the way across, and we are standing where the servant quarters would have been. So, probably extended a little bit longer. We're talking about the 1700s, okay? Now, this is not a place where you're going to get questions like, what color is George Washington's white horse? Red Barn questions, right? This is where you're going to get the answers from your spirit box. Welcome to level 2. So, after I'm done with this, we already talked, you're going to start the recording, and we're going to kind of see how that goes. So, what did they do? What's so significant about this place? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. There's a second one, and a nephew named Charles. Here's the third one. The son and the nephew, signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Pretty big deal for us. However, y'all are on vacation. Nobody wants to talk about politics. Let's move on. So, Eliza is way cooler anyway, so I love talking about Eliza. Eliza married Charles at a young age. I'm not going to tell you what that age is. It's young in our terms. So I'll give you that clue. It's not young as far as the 1700s. Some people go pretty low, like 12 and 13. I will tell you that's a no. Charles was over double her age. So, again, I'm not going to give you the answers to that. But here's the reason why she married him so young. Her dad, over in England, thought he was dying. She didn't believe that he was dying. He wanted all of his kids home to see him one last time. Instead, she got married and said, Dad, I'm just going to stay put because I don't think you're dying yet. And she got married. Now, this is the 1700s. There's no such thing as citizenship yet. So it was basically just her stomping her foot saying, I'm not going. So Dad got better. She was right. And he starts sending over gifts from England. One of those gifts happens to be the plant indigo. You guys have been driving around here for at least a few hours, minimal. You've seen the word indigo at least once, I can guarantee you that. It's pretty prominent. Now, indigo was already here from our Gullah culture. That's the slaves that came over straight from Africa. She had slaves and servants. So guess who taught her how to keep it cultivated in our weird temperature? In January, it gets cold here. I'm from Ohio originally. I know cold. So,
Look at this shirt.
I'm from Youngstown.
Mansfield.
Okay. All right. So I know cold. It gets cold here in January. So she needs to start selling this because indigo is a prominent thing. What is indigo anyway? It creates blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. That's how some companies still use it today. Think of the color royal blue. This is where the name came from. Think of the Civil War. The Northerners, they wore blue coats. We wore gray down here. Confederates. The gray, just less indigo because we couldn't afford it. We were selling it up north. So that's kind of how it went. This stuff's expensive. She calls Dad up. Not really because it's the 1700s. But she says, hey Dad, I need somebody to sell this stuff to. It's expensive. We can make a lot of money. We have a businesswoman in the middle of the 1700s. How crazy is that? Her experimentation with this plant is right where you're standing. No other tour is going to bring you here to a parking lot because there's nothing to see besides the beautiful moon. So, here's a couple of weird facts about Eliza that you guys are hopefully going to get inspired on your spirit boxes. Obviously, the marriage ages, right? We talked about that. Ask anything you want to about Eliza's death. How old she was, what did she die from, where did she die, where is she buried, and what U.S. president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So for the younger groups, pallbearers, that's the guy, person who carries a coffin to the grave. She had a president carry her to her grave. That doesn't tell you how important she was. I don't know what's going to. Let's see, you can ask what happened to the mansion. It's obviously no longer here. So, and then you can ask when that happened. Yes, it was a tragedy. I'll give you that much. Hopefully you get the year. Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. So, yeah, that was kind of a jerk move. So, so both Elizas go by their maiden name, the name they had before they were married. They both start with the letter L. That's it. Good luck. If you're going to ask about Eliza's children, heeded warning, tread lightly. Maybe ask how many there were, how many boys, how many girls, maybe the names. Leave it alone. There's a tragedy among those kids, all activity will stop. Guaranteed. I've seen it dozens of times.
Why?
Because she doesn't want us asking about that particular tragedy.
I wouldn't want people to ask me that.
So, if she brings it up, I will kind of see it within the spirit boxes and kind of say, okay, let's kind of continue to see what we get. It's very vague, but hopefully we find some of that. This is where...
What you're saying is true.
Yep. She is. And it won't just stop here, guys. It'll stop for your entire shoulder. So please, don't poke that bear. It's a big deal. Alright, so this is where you guys are going to kind of separate. We are going to stay within the confines of the lot. There's walls all the way around. Heated warnings with your lasers and cameras. Yep. This is where you're going to start with the recording. So go ahead and tap that button. Let's get it going. I am going to work with you next because I didn't get to show you a whole lot more unless London did.
Push the button.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm going to check you guys in real quick on all of the websites that you guys bought your tickets from to kind of get you guys started, and then I'm going to start bouncing around with you guys. We are going to spend a good 10 to 15 minutes here patiently. So, told you all I was a movie buff. Who can name the movie?
Princess Bride.
Thank you. Good job, guys. Princess Bride. So, Billy Crystal's wife. Magic Man. Alright, so start spreading out. Find those EMF hotspots. Turn those spirit boxes up. We're not bothering anybody in here. I'll be with Christy in just a few minutes once I check everybody in.
Yeah, I pushed this button, I think, on accident, and now it's recording, and it stopped.
Just power it down. Hold that same button again until the red light on the screen goes out. That one's new too. We've only had it for a little while. Jumping around?
Yeah.
We do that just so we only turn it on when we need to.
You asking any questions, Mom?
I did. I asked a bunch of questions. I don't know how many I'm supposed to ask. So I asked what her last name was, how old she was when she got married. I asked how old her husband was.
And far is all you've gotten?
Yep. Didn't he say it started with an F, or am I wrong?
L.
Oh, an L. I'm not even listening. You ask a question.
Okay. How many children did you have?
I'm interested in that indigo trade, actually.
Okay.
Like, how did you come up with the idea to, you know, sell indigo?
To sell it?
Yeah.
Huh. Privately. But it wouldn't be, because she asked her dad about that.
No,
But if it's like a private...
She didn't ask him about it. She said, who do I sell it to?
Yeah. So,
Well, according to him.
yeah. Wait, I have another question.
What's your question?
What happened to your home here?
I asked her that too.
That's what I'm interested in.
Me too.
Was there a fire? Was
I
it
asked
the
that
earthquake?
too. What did I ask? No, because the earthquake was in 18-something, right? She was 17-something.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if the house didn't come down until after her death.
Oh, didn't think about that. Should we travel over here to the corner?
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Well, we're asking a bunch of questions, and so far we just got privately. The question was, how did you come up with the
I just got a
idea?
video of Dad T-posing.
So, here you go.
Privately.
We're going to go to
My
this
parents.
corner. You got a question to ask? You guys want to ask a question?
Yeah.
Look at him. You look like a tool. What question are you going to ask?
A fair.
Ooh.
Yo.
I was just gonna ask about her marriage to
Does
Charles.
something have to do with an affair?
You can't ask yes or no questions.
Eliza, were you happy in your marriage to Charles?
That's also a
That's
yes or no question.
No.
Should I go ask him about it?
You know what I want to know? I want to know what president was
Oh,
your
yeah.
call
How we going
there?
over here?
We got a fair.
We got a fair.
There was no affair.
Oh.
Dang it.
What if
We
there
got
was
privately.
and she's telling us?
That was after we asked, how did you come up with the idea to sell indigo?
Watch your laser talk.
Oh wait, why is it red? Oh, it was red.
So,
Open.
again, this whole thing is meant to be a hoax. So all of the things you're going to see, other than, like, I just want you to focus right
On
here.
the word.
Yeah, because it's going to be aesthetics. It makes noise and growls and all
Alright.
kinds of creepy BS. And again, this is the only one that I actually get solid. This is the first piece I go to. Because the reason why is it gives me a timestamp next to it. So that way I can check the video, and the audio, what was being asked, tie it all together, tie it all in. So yours is, like I said, the first thing I look at. What's the theme of the night? Is it going to be about the doctor I'm going to tell you about later? Is Eliza going to follow us all night? Maybe Big John's teammates are going to follow us. I have no idea. That's the fun thing about this. I have the stories memorized. As far as the guy goes, I have no clue. Different every time. This is actually, it's funny, you're in a hospital. So, a lot of times, who's got EMS nearby? Where's Christy?
I'm here.
Christy, come over here with your EMF for me. I want you to see how her EMF kind of goes crazy.
Yeah, it's going crazy right now. I've gotten up to 6.0.
So her big numbers,
Uh-huh.
above 2.5, I get excited. Now the other EMF that Darlene has only goes to 25. This one I've seen spike at 116 so far. I think that's crazy.
What's the biggest number?
You can turn that rep pod on here. Sure. Yeah, we're not modeling anybody.
Pull it out.
Pull it out, and then there's a little white button on the back.
You guys got anything over here? No?
Kind of like, because that's got an EMF field going around it, kind of like this, and kind of in the middle, and it's break up, and it makes it go up. The button you push makes it go like this again. Does that make sense?
I'm gonna figure out what we put.
It's the very bottom one.
This one down here.
Yep, you just got it's real easy to feel for. Perfect.
There we go.
What's your regular EMF? So I've seen a 10, 15.
It's been 0 a lot. Right
That's
over here.
why you're probably getting different voices here, and there's a lot of noise. So the fact that you stopped here, that's why I came over here. I'm like, she's in a hot spot because I know things happen over here. I've gotten it myself. You gotta imagine, sometimes I only have 2 people, so I'm doing
Oh,
something.
yeah.
You know, I'm
The
you know,
house would have
interacting.
been right here, right?
The house would have been probably all the way back to
Duty.
Duty?
that makes sense too. I want to see if the name comes up of who that relates to. It probably would have been right back
president.
here. It's how big the mansion is.
Okay. Gotcha.
Like from
So
the street?
I'm
It's in the
assuming
wall. The wall is not
he
original.
said late 1700s.
Mid
There's only
1700s.
Mid 1700s. Well, there's only 2 presidents it could have been. Washington is one.
Next was
What do you got going on there?
Adams. Duty.
Who does duty relate to?
Yeah, it was Washington.
It's actually going to be
Adams,
one of the
Jefferson,
kids. That's the reason why I pointed that out.
Washington, Adams, Jefferson.
right? Adams.
Did one of your
Madison
kids
Monroe.
How we doing on the?
serve in the military?
Yeah.
So what's working best for you both?
Oh, I just got a 25 slide.
Predominantly lights.
Okay, so I'm taking that with me. My son did work in the military.
Did you have a son who lost his life? Oh, mom. Did you have a son who served in the military?
Well, ask what the name of the son was, because that's a yes or no question.
Well, duty could relate to the president too.
He said it related to the child.
Okay.
Did your son work with Washington?
Yeah, well, you might try, and I don't know.
I wonder if we should try not to push that one.
Yeah, let's leave that.
Oh, got it. Well, then you need
We are still getting big spikes, though.
right side.
I want to see.
That's what you're on exposure.
Is there anybody around me?
I don't see anything right now.
It's creating a little bit of.
Alright, so how old were you when you got married?
We know you were young.
46 is the highest I've got.
46?
Any thermal?
What was your maiden?
That helped. Okay. So there must have been some droplets on there that were causing a reflection. Right, yeah, it's a bunch of sanitizer. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, let's go. We didn't go right in front of next
I'm doing good.
What you got going on? Anything?
I haven't seen anything yet, no.
Still recording, good.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, I wanted to show you some evidence. So, just so you have a better gist of what you're looking for.
Oh, yeah.
And it actually happened here. That's why I wait till, to show evidence until we're here.
Okay.
Most of my evidence actually comes from here. And we're going to do more places, but this is an awesome spot.
Yeah.
So this is going to be, when you guys go to your photos tomorrow, everybody gets a folder based on their date and the time that they took their tour, so that way it's not eating up my website.
Okay.
But evidence goes into its own folder. Like I copy it over so I can keep the social media stuff going. But this happened about a year ago. It was up in that corner over there. They called me up there because they thought they saw some shadows. You're going to see the two living people going past the wall. Do you see them?
Yep.
Okay, let's find the dead people. Come on, Facebook, work with me. Nope. So we're going to go, they're going to be coming this way, right past the wall.
I bet you know what?
Oh, wow.
That person there was always in view. Firemen and mechanics use this thing as a regular day job.
Okay.
I've had conference calls with them through Zoom showing them this video frame by frame, and they can't figure it out. And they've been on my tour, so they tested it, kind of gone through, making sure it's not a vehicle, it's too far away, those kind of things. So again, it's legit. Like you can see two heads kind of back to back.
Yeah, I
And
definitely saw that.
But again, very solid stuff. I do have other pieces. I just haven't had time. I'm a college guy too. So I'm wrapping up my master's degree. I got 5 weeks left till I'm graduated.
Oh, okay.
But I got it once the end of July hits. Like I'm gonna be full force. This is all I do. Because I'm a writer. I write books during the daytime and then take you guys out for something. I gotta eat. Book sales are down. So with this is how I make. So the more stuff I add, the better off it is. That's why he's got the crazy new camera. This was a big feature why people come on my tours to begin with. Now I got this guy. So hopefully it brings up business.
Hope I can catch something.
Yeah, me too. Alright, where's my laser guy? Right here, Mark.
Here, Mom.
So based on what you guys have, let's start with
Let's
the
go over
red
in this corner
one.
here.
I know this one's on the ground, but there's no reason
Or have you gotten anything else?
Watch, I got watch.
The free software I have.
That thing's still going off?
On it. This guy here is lightened about 3 times. So what I'm looking at here, normally I would call that a bug, just kind of passing through. But I have this little section.
Did you watch the traffic on your street? Feel?
Are you asking if we can feel you?
No, let's see.
Or do you feel us?
So
So these are pictures we're taking. Yeah,
You're asking yes or no
Wi-Fi
questions.
I know.
So these are from other.
Let's see.
Yeah, these are not yours yet. Okay.
I got feel now.
This one feels the top dot is the pen, and then something past each triangle that you spray out on the ground.
What does it
So
feel like
without it
to
being
see my children around here?
This one is just weird. Still needs further analysis.
Weird.
What did he say about Charles? 27?
27.
So Charles was.
How old was Charles?
This one is taken from somebody else's camera.
Eliza, how old was Charles?
Works up there, and they're pretty solid. You can see the people are bluer.
Do your kids want to play with my kids?
Somebody sent me that from my tour. Oh, this actually has.
How old were your children?
We have two shadow people. Right over there. I mean, you can definitely see hats. Yeah. You know.
Stop talking about kids.
Yeah, that's right. I know.
That's just from the person. That's why I say that's for you guys.
Yeah. Read Charles.
All right. What are we getting over
We
here?
have feel now.
Feel?
Yeah,
Well, interesting stuff.
quite a bit.
Talking. We started talking about duty. Did our son work with the president? And then difference came up.
You see anything interesting?
Not really, but it's hard. I don't know if I will see anything in this.
Yeah.
You know, while I'm recording it.
Right, maybe he'll catch something that you didn't see.
Yeah. At some point, do you want me to stop recording? And then once we leave here, stop it. You can turn on it. Over here. We want chatting. So Darlene, right now,
Yeah.
hers is going nuts too. When I just walked over there, he was going for her.
Maybe she's coming through over here.
And the great thing is, I mean, not to say it's great, the kids are kind of having trouble. Caroline, just keep taking me. Hers is recording, so I'll be able to go through that tomorrow and see if the answer to duty is coming up. And hopefully, fingers crossed.
What happened?
So, Mark, just so you know, the tip of that green one, go ahead and turn it back on. The tip of this, if you turn it, the more dots you have, the better, because it gives a bigger spring. It will move because you're moving. So, got it.
What they yellow?
You guys ready for some answers?
Yeah.
All right, let's get
Powerful.
It was educating.
Wait, what did you ask?
What should we know about you and Charles? 'Cause my
Wow.
daughter's name is Caroline, and that's the female version of the name Charles.
Alright.
So I said, oh, I have a Caroline. What should we know?
Catch anything out of
I just got it.
Even if you don't think it's an
You
answer.
should tell him.
Yeah.
21. Okay. What else did we hear?
So I got powerful when I asked, what should we know about you and your husband, Charles?
Very cool. We also got the word educate when I was teaching her more about where the answers could go. So I feel like something is going on. Somebody's watching us. We've got the word discussion when I was talking to Nick. Then we had educate. So again, kind of vague, but it is still relevant.
Did have a lot of huge fluctuations every time a word would come in.
What was the highest you saw your
It
aim?
was like 45, 46.
I think you said 46.
Yeah, 46.
And we also had a lot going on with that REM pod. She did get a lot of motion, especially up in that corner up there by the. Remember, too, she would have been standing right in the middle of the mansion, so that would have made sense. Nick, did you get anything on your?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. We're learning a lot about the lighting and the angles from the full spectrum camera. So we'll see what comes out of the cameras here. So let's go with answers. So let's start off with what happened to the mansion. It did burn down in the Great Fire of 1861.
I don't know what he asked.
61 on one of those spirit
He
boxes.
asked a question and she said 21, 21, and then you have double.
They had
that.
doubled.
I also told you that Charles was over double her age.
Yes, you did.
So, Great Fire of 1861. Every tour guide in Charleston will tell you about some kind of Great Fire or whatever year it happened because we've literally had dozens. Charleston is one giant cemetery. That's why I named this Stories in the Cemetery. Are we going to visit a cemetery? We're not. We're walking through them. And not to mention, if you're dead, you're not going to hang out where you're buried anyway. You're going to go to the places you love. So let's talk about Eliza. Eliza was 70 years old when she died in 1793. Older. Exactly. Now, she died in Philadelphia from breast cancer. Now, 1793, there's no such thing as breast cancer. We're going based off of her medical records. 9 out of 10 websites and resources will tell you it was breast cancer. Now, she's also buried in Philadelphia. So, if that doesn't tell you why we don't go to cemeteries, I don't know what will. So let's talk about that president. We had some guesses. What did you guys guess?
I guess Washington.
It is Washington. Washington took her to her grave. Why? Because he was obviously president when indigo was starting to be a big thing. And he was able to, and you gotta remember, there's only 13 colonies. The nephew was one of the governors for South Carolina for a short period of time. He knew his governors pretty well, which means he was also aware of all of the indigo profits that were saving the colonies after the rice plantations went downhill. So yes, he was proud to take her to her grave. We also get terms like wood, apple, Martha, cherry, anything that relates to Washington. Why the word wood, by the way? Let's do a quiz. Teeth? Yeah, teeth. He had wood and dentures. It's a myth, but some of them, it's a 50-50 shot. But I have gotten the word wood here before. I also tested all of you and did a suggestive thought. What did I do? We're not going to give you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse?
Yeah.
So, great job. None of you actually took that notion. Well, you guys kind of guessed it, but you actually did it based on fact of the years. So, good job there. Let's see, what else? The kids. Let's talk about the kids. There was 4 of them. 3 boys, 1 girl. So you guys already know Charles, because I gave you that one, because he signed the Constitution. But then we had baby George that did not make it. We don't know if the baby was days or weeks old. There is no grave for this child, and the body is lost. So, all we know is that when you look it up as far as the death, it's actually the same month and year of his birth. So, George was named after Eliza's father. So, we have George Washington, we have George the baby, and then we have George the father. So, I'm going to kind of break away from the kids for a second, because Eliza's father, his last name was Lucas, which makes him George Lucas. Okay, so movie buff, right? So, George Lucas, and we also have George Lucas Pinckney, which also makes Eliza, his mother, Eliza Lucas. So that's one of the names we are looking for. Let's get back to the kids. So now we have Thomas, who served in the Battle of Camden. That's where I was looking for duty. So I'm looking for Thomas on all of the other spirit boxes. Thomas was wounded in the leg. His kneecap got shattered. So a lot of times if he's here, he'll give me those clues. I've actually had the word Thomas and General. Nice. So I will look up his position while he was over there, but he was pretty high in the ranks. I've had the word Camden come up here on that box. There's only 9,000 words in that box. Camden should not be one of them. So, just giving you the facts. And then the daughter, Harriet. Harriet married in Horry. Myrtle Beach, just north of here, is in Horry County. So if that tells you where she lived, this wasn't a car ride to go see her daughter and her husband. These were letters being written back and forth. So letters, ink, pen, anything related to writing, all of those letters were published in one volume. So pretty cool stuff. Now what do you got?
Exam.
Sam.
Exam.
Exam.
He said writing. You said writing.
I did, but these were letters, so there was nothing tested. So the other first wife of Charles was Eliza Lamb, Pinckney. So that is very significant. We have Lamb and Lucas are the two Elizas. What are the questions that I have you guys ask?
Ages.
Oh, 22. Eliza, when she got married, to Charles at the age of 45. So over double her age, just over.
Pretty close to
We had 21.
20. But I'm going to have to be very careful with that because we're in 2021 right now. And then next year it's going to be 2022. So when I'm giving this tour, it's going to be very easy to get that 22. And I don't want this to be easy. I want you guys to actually see what's coming through. So I'm going to have to be very careful with that after December, right? All right, so from here, we are going to go up to Lodge Alley. It's about 3 blocks away. London will kind of hang out in the middle of the group. I will obviously lead the way. We can go ahead and stop the video now. Cool. So, absolutely no lasers on East Bay Street. We're kind of out of the game for a little bit. Pictures. Caroline, right? When we get there, you're going to take a few empty shots before we all walk down the alley. It's usually empty for us. So we're going to get some just blank photos just to see if anything actually pops up. Actually, there's 2 blue orbs that the alley was on. That's what I'm always looking for. Spirit boxes. If you're going to listen along the way or watch, I'm looking for names. I'm not going to tell you the gender or what the names are. I'll explain once we get there. When we get into Lodge Alley, it is a quiet area. We're going to be in between a restaurant and a hotel. Spirit boxes will be turned down. No lasers, nothing along those lines.
The whole time we're there, no lasers.
Absolutely no.
Got it.
So again, that's a brief stop. You guys are in Charleston. You guys need to see a little bit of cobblestone. So it's a brief stop, and it's a nice way for us to kind of get into some of the history of the things that we're about to get into even further. So questions, comments, concerns about this?
Zebra.
Zebra,
Yeah.
really? That's what you're going with?
Yep.
I am pretty interested in the 0006 that came out of you guys, and I'm going to be diving into birth dates and things like that with the kids. So, all right, we're going to go through this gate, and we're going to make a right.
Right when I asked her.
Hey, Mom. You want to straight for a little bit when we get there? I didn't think so.
Maybe Caroline will trade with you.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, the dad will trade with you.
Well, Dad, the lasers can't do anything with the next one.
Okay, so I'm supposed to go hard on a laser and line
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Nick is tired of doing the camera.
Nick, you want to switch?
Nick,
I'll do this in the alley.
paranormal hunting is hard work.
He said you could switch.
No,
She
I'll,
said, if your arm is tired, I'll do it.
I'll do this in the alley.
That's pretty bad.
Oh, I had no time to warn you. I said "oh" just as you saw it.
Look at the halo around the moon.
Eliza, what do you think about the moon?
American. Did you see that?
Did you see the
G-Wagon.
moon garden?
Oh, that's a good one. That's yes or no, though.
What'd you ask, Karen?
The moon in the garden. Say, how did the moon look from your garden? Ooh, that's a good one.
Perfume.
Oh, yeah. was just thinking that.
Okay, so 25 minutes, 27 minutes, girl.
What did it say?
Delivery people, it must be punished.
I don't get it.
Delivers what processes alcohol.
Oh, I got it. Move the backpack. No, so I don't want the bike next to it.
The rickshaw?
Yeah.
This is another.
Came unplugged.
Right?
Dude, that's a pretty mountain down there.
Right.
Yes, it was. Ooh. Oh, here's what
Let's wait for the group to pass. Let's get everybody in. Just come up this way.
Just all the way at the end.
Yeah, so be as still as possible because there's no flash, which means if you move, it's going to be blurry. Okay, you're probably good now.
Sure.
Good? You got a couple? Cool. Alright, yes, let's walk.
I just realized why. So he said her maiden name was Lamb, Eliza Lamb.
Yeah.
So I was watching this docuseries on the Cecil Hotel, and that experience happened in 2013.
Yeah.
And the woman's name was Elisa Lamb.
Yeah. It's a, they have an upstairs too.
Yeah. So I was like, I know that name. Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
I know that name from
I know
somewhere.
that's a, I don't think you can do that. Alright.
I couldn't walk in.
Did we get any names on the spirit boxes?
Yeah.
Cable?
Lisa.
What's the name?
Okay, so that was about 10, 10. And you got Tom?
Maybe. I don't know about that.
That's all related to the Pink Dimension site. Nothing on
I got American.
And you guys were chatting with me. Alright, so welcome to Lodge Alley, everybody. So this is, when we crossed that last crosswalk, that's where the Charlestown walls used to be. Charleston used to be Charlestown, and it was a walled city. So that wall ran right up Cumberland. It's going to get close to Cumberland again. But those buildings down there, they wouldn't have been there. That's where the wall went down south towards the Battery. So here's basically what this street is. This is where people used to live. I have a full list of residents of every person that's ever lived here. So that's why I listen for names. I also have, it's not a census list, it's just their name, first and last, and their occupation and their address. These were shotgun houses. These people were poor. We found evidence of their silverware and tools that were in here, and that's how they were able to classify these people as lower class. It also makes sense because the smell of low tide would be coming over that wall up this alley constantly. If you look at the Battery and say, Nick, well, those houses down there are gorgeous. They're angled much differently than the shotgun houses and me standing on somebody's stoop right here. Sorry, my new backpack is in my way. But at the same time, it's a lot of things that come out of this place. Why is this called Lodge Alley? This is where we had a Masonic lodge, Freemasons. That's why it's called Lodge Alley. The hotel you guys are leaning on, that's Lodge Alley Imaing. Every hotel in Charleston has a claim of a ghost, just like Savannah, New Orleans, and St. Augustine. None of them give me free rooms. Next year, my wife and I, every week, are going to go to every haunted room down here. Yes, we will pay for them. And we will actually, because I have a podcast with the same name, we will do an investigation on every one of these rooms and hopefully capture something and see if there's any truth in what these people are claiming. So, whether or not they'll give me the actual room or not, we'll see. So, again, this is a very interesting alley, and I'm kind of biding my time as they're kind of wrapping up whatever story he's telling. In the event you get a name that matches up to one of the people that's here, you will get the full list. I will give you that backlink to show you the archaeological dig, and it has the list of residents in there. I'll tell you exactly what page to go to. So, again, I love this alley. It's gorgeous. However, it is still a quiet area. I know I'm going to spend this much time kind of stalling as we wait for them. Here's what I will tell you. When we get up to the end of this alley, we will be in a neighborhood. So again, those spirit boxes and the lasers, we're going to pass through quickly to get to our next stop. The next stop is the Legends and Lore portion. You guys get to kind of take a break, sit down for a minute, and if anything comes up out of that evidence, we'll be good to go. So, I think we're going to go ahead and cut through them anyway, and we'll partner into them because that's just what we're going to do. So, let's stick to the left. Yes, sir. Sorry, that's South Carolina. I'll cut it off. Kind of back.
So Nick, you had mentioned that Eliza's maiden name was Lamb.
The first Eliza.
So I was trying to remember where I heard of that name before, and I just watched a Netflix docuseries on the Cecil Hotel.
Yeah.
And the woman that went missing, and they found her body later, her name was Elisa Lamb.
Yep.
So I just I thought that was, because I just recently watched that, so it was that was strange to me, because I was trying to remember where that name was familiar to me. So.
Yeah, I watched, I think, a part of that, of course I watch a crap ton of haunting stuff. But I was trying to get that, I was off yesterday. I take Mondays off. I need a break sometimes.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think I remember seeing that in there and kind of bluffed it off because I know it's Eliza and it's a way different time period, because I want to say that the Cecil Hotel, it was the late 1800s into the early 1900s, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're centuries off.
Right, yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was
sheer coincidence.
Right, yeah.
But what are your guys' thoughts so far? Is this different than what you thought you were getting yourselves into?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I mean, London yesterday, she doesn't watch all that ghost stuff back at her mom's house. So
Yeah.
when she gets home with me, she is literally like Ghost Adventures, like
Yeah.
marathon yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I can't take any more Zach Bagans.
Yeah.
Can we please change the channel?
Yeah, he's definitely got
He's a
a
character.
personality.
Well,
He started off good,
Yep.
and that's my complaint, is that it started like a great show.
Yeah.
Because it seemed legit.
Mhm.
Now it's a personality.
Yep.
Post Malone
Well,
on
he
the show.
realized that he could make money off of it, I think. And
And just, I mean, with the museum now, and
yep.
you know, I'm sure he's got a lot of really great stuff in there, but stop living like Ed and Lorraine.
Yeah.
Boring, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
get off
Yep.
that train, man. Like, the psychic she has on there as guests, like, I'm not bringing them.
Like, I remember one of the first episodes, we were at that hotel in Las Vegas, and that one, for some reason...
Oh, the Riviera?
Yeah, those were, like, so interesting, and now they're just so different.
Yeah, I liked when Nick was part of the show, Aaron was 200 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's when the show was good.
Yep.
Now it's just the same thing over and over and over again. We're actually going to stop here, where you guys can actually sit for a few minutes. Kind of chill. All right, everybody go ahead and have a seat.
Quick thing, so there was a really long alley back there that you passed by, and they said, hey, Kelly, come look at this. And she stepped back and looked, and then it said death on that.
We're going to talk about that alley. So, remember I kind of told you tour guides aren't supposed to be in residential areas. That alley at the end is considered residential, and it's a weekday, so I kind of give them their space. It's at the end on the Queen Street side, but we're going to talk about that alley. Can you squeeze a little bit just so I don't feel like I'm really all over? I know it's COVID and social distancing and all that, but
It's not Philadelphia alley, is it?
it is.
Oh.
I said that.
We were there a couple days ago, or yesterday, I guess.
Philadelphia Alley is the prettiest spot we have in all of Charleston. What do you have now?
Yeah, I was just showing
When we
everybody.
walked by and it said death.
So, first thing I like to point out, and the reason why I like to bring you over here onto this side, is everybody turn around and look at that wall back there. There's a doorway in the center of it. That doorway, because Philadelphia Alley used to be called Duelers Alley. That's where the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. When there was a death in a duel, because it doesn't always happen that way, they would bring the body through that gate, over the courtyard, and then over to St. Philip Cemetery, where they would drop the body, and then they would go celebrate. Tremor and then Trevor. Oh.
Said Trevor.
Not a name that is in this story. Close but no cigar, I guess. So, we all tell the same story of the duel, because we can actually prove it. This is the story of the Whistling Doctor. The doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. He's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. The attorney that was handling the money, this is the 1800s by the way, the attorney handling the money says, you're not getting married yet, send the doctor away. Let's see if he's really in it for love or for your cash. So he comes to Charleston. He's dressed up like a doctor, he just got out of med school, he's going to start his practice here. The coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. Not a very good start. Of course, he looks like he has money, so why not? Somebody walking by sees what's happening. The guy's name that's walking by is Ralph Isaacs. He's a local attorney. Also, I want to point out that Ralph has the same initials as the state of where the doctor came from. Ralph Isaacs, Rhode Island. R.I. shows up here a lot. So I would say probably once a month or so, I'll get R or I, or sometimes together. So we just never know which one it's related to, the doctor or Ralph. But anyway, he says, you don't want to stay here, let me take you somewhere else. He takes him to the Thomas Rose House, which is 59 Church Street, right up the road. I know, I'm sorry. Some of these stories get a little lengthy. I see yawns. So, 59 Church Street, it is labeled, and it is the only house in Charleston that actually labels a ghost story on its historical plaque, which relates to this doctor. But the doctor, his name is Joseph Brown Ladd. I give you his full name because that comes up here often as well. So, the two become friends. However, the doctor's making a lot of money. So, excuse us, folks. Are you good? So the doctor's making a lot of money. Amanda's going to be moving down soon. He's proving his point. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. So, when they go see plays together, him and Ralph, the doctor has better seats because of the hierarchy. Hi, guys. Good. Oh, no, you're fine. Enjoy the weather. It's gorgeous. It's not sticky tonight. So, they have different seats because the doctor makes more money. In the hierarchy of Charleston, he just has to sit away from his friends. So they talk about the plays on the way home. One night they go see William III from Shakespeare. I don't know which theater. No tour guide can tell you which, because there were dozens. But at the same token, the doctor loves the new actresses in town. Ralph does not. They start arguing. Then it turns into an insult party on the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home. Obviously, they get pretty pissed at each other, and they go their separate ways. I told you Ralph was from here. So he calls his friends over at the newspaper and he puts an ad in the paper and he wants to put an ad in there telling the whole city what a disgrace the doctor is to the city of Charleston. The doctor sees the ad and he rebuttals with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this. So they come down, they take their 20 paces, they turn, the doctor points his gun in the air and he shoots. He didn't want to kill his friend, he just wanted to make a point. However, Ralph has his one shot. Again, 1800s, one shot. He puts it in the kneecap. Sorry, London, you're the one dying tonight. You're in front of me, you know how this works. So he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. So again, a lot of key words I'm giving you here. So this is what we're going to be listening for on the spirit box. The doctor didn't die, so he didn't come through the death gate. Instead, his friends carried him home back to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later, probably from bleeding out. He's a doctor who couldn't heal himself. They say as you walk through that gorgeous alley that Mark wanted to walk down, you can hear the whistles from the doctor. I used to take my tours down there with no spirit boxes on, listen in the audio. You can hear it in the background. If I get hecklers, sure I do. All locals know this story. So you have to decipher which one is which. However, I got caught going through there. So that's why we don't go through it anymore. London was there that night. It was not fun.
It was fun.
For you, it was fun.
Yeah.
As a new tour guide in Charleston, it was like, oh my god, this guy's screaming.
Like
You
a
guys were
lesbian?
all noisy and had spirit boxes running and cameras and all kinds of mess. It was
His
a
guest
nightmare.
spot for him.
I'm sure the laser guy was good though.
It was just and you know what's funny? It was the night before Thanksgiving. I'll never forget this. So we go to the next location, which is on East Bay Street. We don't go there anymore either. We have a homeless guy that I see every night. I said, hey man, have a good Thanksgiving. He turns around and starts screaming MF at me the whole nine. London's cracking up laughing. My tour group is like, they don't know what to do. Like, they're just like, you poor thing, man. I'm like, we never go back there again. So, a couple of things. There's literally like 15 stories on this corner, so I kind of rely on the digital spirit box to tell me what words we have. So give me the last 4 or 5 words.
Position, attitude. Beautiful came up when you were talking about the argument about the new actress.
Okay?
Widely, possibility, and then Trevor.
Nothing. All right, so I'll point out a couple of things. So everybody likes, all the other tours like to go up to the church. There's a reason for that. There's a cemetery in it. It's pretty old. So there's 2 sides of the church, but we're going to talk, or the cemetery, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Right inside the wrought iron gate, there's a sign that says there's no ghost here at St. Philip's but the Holy Ghost. There's a reason for that. 1888, young lady dies 6 days after her stillborn child. Her name is Sue Howard Hardy. Her initials and her name has shown up here several times as I tell the story. 1987, 99 years later to the day, local photographer in town who's taking pictures of all of our cemeteries. He's going to do a book. I'm going to be interested to see what you guys have. So he wants to do a book. He captures a full apparition in this picture. It's 1987. There's a baby basket next to her. It's over this woman's grave. He sends it to Kodak. For you younger kids, that's where we used to send pictures to get our pictures developed. So they can't debunk the picture either. For guys like me, this stuff is like gold. Okay, it's newer, it's local, you know what I mean, it's local. However, the picture's cursed. Females that hold it, you're going to get the same symptoms like I told you about at Big John's. Headaches, you know, all of that stuff. Females that are pregnant holding it, because of the nature of the story, you're not going to have a good pregnancy. I don't show the picture on my tour for this exact reason. Obviously, you can imagine, this is my occupation, my career choice. I'm very superstitious. In the event we have a term that shows up that's relatable to this, and I have to give you the link to show you the evidence, please don't handle it on your phones. There will be a warning on there. This is the cursed photo kind of thing. So handle it on a computer or have somebody show it to you. Ma'am, what do you have?
The first one that came up was sad.
Right when you start.
Right when you said now it's just true.
So the past 2 weeks, I've got, every time I'm at this corner, I have Jesus, Bible, church, holy, anything that's related to a church or anything kind of on a religious term. So, one last thing I'm going to point out before we go do our last investigation. You guys all see the burning gas lamp off in the distance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's somebody's house. Don't go in his backyard. He gets mad. Don't ask me how I know. Now, that's the pirate house. That's where Blackbeard's men used to come in off their ships. Blackbeard stayed on the ships to guard them, and they would have a few drinks, meet with a few ladies, and then they dug a tunnel underneath the pirate house going 1 block over to Dock Street Theater. Dock Street Theater is labeled as one of the top 10 haunted locations in America. Do I have the evidence of that? Nope, sure don't. Not much there. I have my own theories, but we'll get into that on another day. Call and email me, I don't care. But anyway, so you can't miss that house. If you guys are walking around, you guys can see it during the daytime. It's got a big anchor on the front. So, pirate house. I wanted to get your mind set up on pirates because we're going to go talk about a kick-ass female pirate across the street. Any other terms that popped up before I get us moving?
Oh, just now, sudden.
Sudden. Again, very vague stuff. Maybe I can make a story out of it.
Quick question.
Yes.
Have you spoken to that gentleman at all about like anything that he's experienced in the house? Or,
No. So anything, and also the pink house is also very haunted, and I do get some activity on the outside of it when I'm a walker during the daytime. But those kind of places, like, they ignore all of the calls, the emails, the regular postal mail. Anything that comes up like that, they want nothing to do with it. So this is not Savannah, this is not St. Augustine. They don't embrace it. Because this is one of the reasons why I'm the only guy in town that does this. Because all the other tours are major corporations, and nobody's willing to put in the cost and the effort to get what you guys are going through tonight. That's right. You guys ready to talk about some more pirates? Do it. All right, let's go. We're gonna head across the street.
Here, I'll trade you. So just make sure that there's always somebody in frame for like reference. Otherwise, it'll all bleed into one color.
Okay.
But I would say, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement, they should have been saying,
There's.
I'm gonna be.
All right. So, curious on the time, because you guys have been a fun group and I lose track of time. So, first, I mentioned earlier that there's two different sides to the St. Philip Cemetery. So the reason why is because that's for locals, where we were standing. This is for everybody else.
got a battery issue here.
Okay. Is it dying already?
Looks like it's dead. I turned it off, but that looks dead to me.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Oh, dude.
Sorry.
Everything's insured, no worries. Yeah, as we move further in, there's bullet, by all means. Oh, wow. So, the other side is obviously for everybody else. Your 17th Vice President, John Calhoun, he's buried over here in sarcophagus. He's been flipped over several times. They're trying to figure out if he's from here or not from here. Turns out he's not from here. You can actually walk through the cemetery during the daytime. It's actually pretty cool. So let's talk about this building right over here. So this is the gunpowder magazine that's still standing. This is the oldest government building on the East Coast. So we might actually get quite a few other tours that are cutting through here, just so you guys know. And I just like to stay out of their way because we're noisy. So the building, those crosses that you see on there, those aren't crosses. Those are actual earthquake bolts. So most of you are from this side. Earthquake bolts are meant for keeping a building intact if it gets quaked again. Now,
Those are bigger than most we've seen, though.
So those ones are the very first set that they put in because of the nature of the building. So again, earthquake bolts don't really work. It's just, aesthetics right now. When we make a new building and put earthquake bolts on in Charleston, it's just for the look, because they're going to be lions or pineapples or something crazy. But again, it's interesting. The building is actually, I told you guys about the Charlestown Wall earlier too, remember that? So this is the street where the Charlestown Wall came up. It went up half a block past the powder magazine and started going south towards the battery. Same thing on East Bay Street. It's literally tucked into the corner of where the wall met in Corners. Okay, the reason for that is because it served in 7 different wars. There's, gunpowder in it, trying to hide it. If it gets attacked from a cannon from the water 3 blocks away, those walls are 32 inches thick. So it's going to have a hard time getting through. But let's say that it does, and it blows up the gunpowder. There's sand in the roof from 1712 that goes up in the air and is supposed to fall to put out the fire. Great idea, but that doesn't work either. We had another powder magazine closer to the battery. If you know our geography, obviously the peninsula gets much skinnier, closer to the water. The sand went up and was unable to put out the fire. So it's gone. This one's never been hit before.
Bomb.
So,
Bomb.
And we got shake when we were talking about
the
the
earthquake?
yeah
When you were talking about the finial, the
Earthquake bolts?
yeah.
Nice.
average.
So, during the time that this building was being made, 1703 to 1713, sorry, a full decade. 1708 is where our story begins. Young lady moves here. You got to follow me on this one. There's a lot of twists. So, young lady moves here with her dad and his mistress, who happens to be her mom. 3 of them are getting away from his wife. You guys with me on that one?
Mm-hmm.
That's from Ireland, 1708. how pissed off was that lady that they had to go halfway across the world by boat to get away from her. This lady's name is Ann Cormack, the young lady, the daughter. Okay, so they move here, she sees this building being built, it gets finished, boom, she's a teenager. Now with 1714, 1715, pirates are coming through town. Very exciting stuff for Charleston. So she falls in love. Of course she does. It's a pirate. Dad doesn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. So what did the two do? Ann Cormack and James Bonney moved to Jamaica and get married. Ann Cormack is now Anne Bonny, the most famous female pirate of the Golden Age. So, with that said, when they get there, James Bonney is not the pirate that she was hoping for. She wanted the kick-ass Captain Jack Sparrow, whatever kind of guy, right? This is not him. This guy's a privateer, which means he's a spy for the British. He's a coward in her eyes. She falls in love again. She goes to another guy. This guy's name is John Rackham. We're on guy number 2. I'll keep tally. John Rackham, a.k.a. Calico Jack. Much cooler name, much younger guy, very much a Jack Sparrow kind of dude, and he has his own ship, and she wants to be part of it. He says, okay, but you gotta dress like a guy. Females curse pirate ships. So she's okay with this. Why is she okay with this cross-dressing? Dad used to hide her back in Ireland as an apprentice at his attorney office to keep her away from his wife. So she's okay with this. She gets it. She just wants to be a pirate. So, sorry, this is the lengthy one. So it might get to me on. So, with that said, she becomes a pirate on the crew, but she's allowed to be a female in his quarters. Of course, he's the captain. Just do whatever he wants to. Being a female in there, obviously she's going to get pregnant. Can't have a pregnant dude on the ship. So he sends her to Cuba to go stay with friends, go have the baby, come back, we'll figure it out later. Now, when she comes back, there's no baby. So we have no idea what happened to that kid. She's also dressed like a female. She doesn't give a damn anymore about hiding her gender. This makes Jack mad, and he also just acquired another pirate crew that he captured, and they're enslaved down below deck. She's gonna go flirt with those guys, 3, to go make Jack jealous. The guy that she's flirting with reveals his gender to be a female, dressed like a male, to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack just captured. So we have another female doing the exact same thing that she was doing. Her name is Mary Reed. She convinces Mary to become part of the crew. Now we have 2 kick-ass female pirates of the Golden Age, and they're the only 2 that are able to defend the ship when the British fleet finds out where they are and they start attacking. The other guys are down below deck watching the other pirates, and they're too drunk to come up. Obviously, the whole British fleet attacking one ship, it's going to get taken.
What is that?
The last words Anne Bonny said to Calico Jack, you should have fought like a man instead of going down like a dog.
Dude.
The word dog shows up here quite a bit too.
I'm gonna get me so badly.
So they all get captured. Now, Anne Bonny and Mary Reed, the judge wants to see them separately. They're the only 2 guys that fought back. He has no idea that they're female. So the other guys, they're hung, tried, they're done. Right? They're already gone. The 2 females go in front of Chief Justice Nicholas Laws. We get that here a lot too. Another Nick. So they go in front of him, they reveal their gender. He says, I don't care. You're still pirates. We're going to hang you. That's the way this goes. We plead our bellies, which both means they claim to be pirates. Fine, we'll delay your hanging, send them both back to jail. Now, Dad's in Charleston, still has his Irish money, bails her out. Brings her back home, she remarries again, got number 4, yes, we're counting Mary Reed. Has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Those are the common things that I found out of all the novels that I found about this woman. The rest of it is all kind of hogwash and mixed up, so I'm going to give you that. What happens to Mary Reed? She died in a Jamaican jail, whatever pirates died from, in a Jamaican jail a year later. It was probably bumpy, oozy, whatever you can think of. It was probably pretty nasty. So she died pretty young. That was 1721. This place, you can ask whatever you want to as we get closer to the Powder magazine itself. The only 2 things that I did not give you, as far as, and I know the answers to the 2 questions that I'll prompt you for, what was Anne Bonny's mother's name, and what was the name of Calico Jack's ship? I didn't give you that either. So, ask anything else that you want to. Did she fall in love with Mary? Whatever. What happened to the baby? What, things that you may know already. So this is kind of a great spot. We will spend another 10 to 15 minutes here based on the evidence. Lasers. If you want to go to the front of the building and take pictures up there, you guys can.
Along the road?
Yeah. So as long as your lasers stay on the magazine yard, don't go above it, because if you go past it, that brick building is apartments. Okay. So just don't interrupt other tours.
Got it.
Again, I already pissed them off enough. Definitely get the REM pod going in here. Thermal imaging actually acts weird in here. So
really?
We'll kind of see if anything kind of comes up, and I'll tell you about that evidence as we're rolling along. Definitely get the spirit boxes up and running. But yeah, let's have some fun here, and let's see what we can capture. Let's wrap this party up.
I'm getting eaten alive.
You got it.
Oh, nothing.
Oh,
It's just a camera.
I thought you were gonna show me something.
Does Isabella mean anything?
Right here.
Isabella. That's my knowledge. What else you got? Numbers and names.
So Karen, you just like hold that button down and takes a picture.
What?
Like what? What's going on?
Look at it.
That's because there's nobody in the picture.
Oh.
You just have to have someone in the picture. Wait, so Karen, do you just like hold in the button to take the picture?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just taking the picture across like this.
You want to get some of the grass on the bottom too.
The ships, if they were here a second, were bringing slaves over. They had two choices: come work with us as free men, or we can send you back to America and we'll call you a slave. Well, slave here.
Yeah.
There you are. That's the name of the pirate ship.
I'm getting eaten alive.
I am too. My feet.
It's not going off one.
The bugs are so bad.
Oh my gosh, Caroline, they're so bad.
What was his name? Jack something?
Calico Jack.
Calico Jack. Within. What was the name of your ship? What was it related to?
Nothing really. I got a name and a number. Isabella. But he doesn't know.
Maybe there's other people trying to come in. We were right next
Maybe.
to
Well, he said there's like 15 stories over here. So he said there could be something. And I got within it. I asked, what's her name? What's the pirate's name?
Anne Bond.
So
Oh,
the cars are
Bonnie.
red. That's because the engines were running, right?
I think
Myself.
so. Oh, maybe it's Anne Bonnie. Maybe Anne Bonnie is here. Anne Bonnie, are you here? Myself?
And Bonnie, if you're here, can you make this turn around?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm getting eaten alive.
Wait, what happened?
Anne Bonnie, if you're here, can you make this go 3.5? Can you bring it up to 3.5 if you're here? Bring it up to 3.5. Make the first number a 3.
Oh, I seen some blips. What's going on?
Anne, what's the name of your mother?
This was going off, and he says, "Can you turn the light green?"
It
And
was at
went-
blue.
It was at blue, and it went right to green.
So I don't get much here as far as the regular EMF here, big numbers, and then Darlene's device. I don't get much. So if it does something, I'm excited. That's why I said you have something going on here.
See, this is where it was at. It was at that blue. It was going crazy over there too.
But I also, the camera that she's holding, I was with a small group. So they had the red spirit box in the camera, and I'm standing like this next to the person with the spirit box. That puts a white film over that person, and then the spirit box dies.
There. Wait. So like this? It's like
Where's your spirit box?
No, it was
No.
a perfect white film
just
coming
white.
over.
Okay.
Yep. It was crazy.
Interesting.
I was trying to get her to make it
I don't know if
straight.
that has to do with pregnancy.
What do you got?
You know, DUing.
Oh, are you?
Are you pregnant right now? Turn it to blue if you are pregnant.
Get into it.
She ain't
Get
pregnant.
into it. She ain't pregnant.
I think I did okay with who's getting what devices tonight. Like Kelly's like really into this. I love it.
She's pregnant. She says she can't. You're not pregnant.
She can't.
She got pregnant with.
And
gonna have
Brian,
ghost
tell us
babies.
where you gave birth to your first child.
here.
Oh, they just went out. I don't know where they're going.
So remember, those answers can go anywhere.
Right.
What
you
happened
doing
to
on
the
yours?
birth of your first child? Where'd you take your child to?
This is not supposed to listen.
Listen.
So maybe it's going to be on one of the other spirit boxes.
This has done nothing.
How many children did you have?
I heard watermelon. How many children you got? Or you had? How many times did it go off? A lot.
This?
Yeah.
It's been going off on and
Like
off.
right after she said, how many children did you have? So that could be like one.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
How many children did you have? Make
She
it
had
go
3
off
kids?
if you had 3 kids. Can you put 3 on here, please? Maybe. Greg,
Generation.
What?
Dad's
Wow, she had a generation. Something else to ask. I still wanted to make this 3.0.
saying walk. Can you make this go up? You know what happened to your first child?
So she doesn't. Oh.
Sounds like jamming cardio.
Did your first child survive? That's a yes or no question. Yes, I know.
Make it go off twice if your first child did survive. Make it go off once if they didn't. Please. Can you make this change if you're here right now, please?
I'm trying to come up with questions and I'm not.
Like in 3, 2, 1, now? 5 seconds.
Oh.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's a question you can ask her? Oh, look at this. Now it's starting to. The numbers are looking a little. She said something. Was the pirate's life for you?
Did you actually ever think of marrying yourself? I feel like you got the coolest one.
You think?
Yeah, because it says like words.
Who said that? But it's a nice size. It really is. Aside from all of the equipment, it's a nice size.
And this didn't probably feel like
No, it's interactive and it's different than any tool.
London wants obviously to do this when she gets older. Sure. And you know, I'm not licensed. You don't need a license to do this. Right. Those are your job. You are going nuts. I've been listening to you this whole
Yeah,
time.
it's been going nuts. Right now, it's actually starting to move up. The numbers are moving. Over there, the numbers aren't really moving.
For some odd reason, I had a woman about a month ago said spot number 48. So if you can grab somebody with a spirit box and take your device over there, see what actually happens.
Autumn, Vin,
There we go.
you told us to come over here to spot 48 and bring the spirit box over.
Here you go, Autumn.
Are there any pirates? I know. What's the name of Kuchak's ship?
Let me just reset it. Oh. Let me reset it.
Do you know the Muffin Man? Where does he live?
What is the question? Vincent, oh, turn it up. Hello? Turn it up so we can hear.
Come over here to spot 48.
Dig. Dig.
Oh, maybe she buried treasure in it. She wants us to dig.
Oh, dig right here?
Ah,
Is there buried treasure here?
I'd say yes or no.
How many paces left?
Ask her.
Yeah, I heard go south.
It says ask
it says ask her.
like together? Ask who? No, where's the treasure, my guy? Wait, so that means we're not talking to...
If you have buried treasure, where would we find it?
Mom, there's a cat. Hello. Oh my god.
Do you have buried treasure that you know about? Can you tell me where it's at? Give me some money. Can you... I heard go south and then they had said ask her and then like, I got buried treasure.
There's a,
What's your favorite place to eat?
there's a
I got
cat.
treasure stuff.
Arby's.
Oh my god, you're ridiculous.
Good question.
Maybe it's in the car that's honking.
Look, you've made her mad. Now she don't want to talk to you.
Unless
The ask her was kind of weird.
Because that's when we were talking about where she buried the treasure.
Yeah.
Where she what?
Buried
We asked
treasure.
if she had buried treasure.
And then
Said
it said
dig?
dig. And so we asked her if she had buried treasure here. And then what was the next one?
Well, ask her came first. Or no, dig and then ask her. Dig and then ask her.
And then we said, oh, do you have buried treasure? Where do you have buried treasure?
So there was a rumor
kitty. Oh,
that
hello.
tunnel that I told you about from the Pirate House over
see
to
the
Dock
cat
Street
now?
Theater
Yeah.
actually had Blackbeard's treasure. But all of us East Coasters all know that damn treasure's in North Carolina. We all know it's there. Blackbeard never set foot on our soil. So it's a rumor. But we'll never know. They filled it in the 1990s.
Says
So filled the tunnel in? Yep. It's not there anymore.
So why are you lying to us, Anna?
Because maybe she did put it in there. And now it's buried. And she needs us to dig it out.
Very
Tell us where the gold is.
Oh, look at that. That was a 2.5.
And now
What was your energy? No.
it says swell.
What number were you asking her to get to earlier?
3.5, but she never went to it.
It says swell now. In this thing. Although when we were asking about the kids, like that went off.
It did. We asked her how many kids she had.
Oh, that moon's starting to reveal if you picture takers want to jump in on that.
We asked her to blip it however many times she
Can you switch
however
it
many
like
times
now?
she had kids. It was 3.
Oh, you want
Should
her
add
to
5.
switch it.
She had 4 after she moved back here, plus the 1 you.
Here. He said, what do you mean by kind of? Smell.
Swell.
Swell. All done.
And I was just going to wrap it up.
Ah!
I swear I was about to say, all right, let's start. I'm not getting a whole lot, but again, this seems like it's more about our conversation.
That's,
So
yeah.
very interesting night for sure. All right, so I'm going to start collecting devices. London's going to give you guys my card so you guys can check out the website ahead of time. So it has all of my contact info on there. So in the event you guys need to get in touch with me about your evidence, because again, I'm not going to go through it all. It's up to you guys to go through the rest of it. So just get in touch with me. Text me, email me, whatever you got to do. So this would be very interesting to see how the full spectrum camera brings me that recording and kind of see how we can go with that. I'm going to be playing with battery life for the next week. I'm going to start with the phone. So thermal imaging first. Who has thermal imaging?